Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you a 4 versus 4 on Colleville, and in this one I'm going to be playing with the 15th Infantry Scots. Now today I wanted to show you guys this replay just because it was a really fun one, and also just it was quite amusing as well. There's a couple of things to point out that I just thought were quite funny. So that's why I decided to record this replay today. I'm playing with a 6th Airborne player, 3rd Canadian Infantry and 1st SSB. And then on the other side of things we have the 12th SS Panzer, Panzerlehr, 17th SS Panzer Grenadier and 16th Luftwaffe. So everybody else chose their positions before I did. So if I just pop it to my point of view, you can see that I am going to be on the left mid and pushing onto this town, which is perfectly okay for the 15th Infantry Scots. I was perfectly happy with this, and I thought I would go for the age-old AVRE push. Didn't want to rely on any Churchill 5s or anything, just straight up AVRE, see how much damage I could do, see if I could punch a hole. I really do love leading the charge with those AVREs. On my left side I do have the 3rd Canadian player, Thiel 92. And he marked up to where he was going to take, which was nice because it allowed me to focus quite heavily on these two roads here. So I didn't need to focus on this road down here because he was covering it, which meant that I could just basically focus all my stuff into the town and maybe put like a unit in the mid just to sort of hold off there whilst my teammate Heiko pushed up here. Then on the far right we have the SSB player, who has quite a nice sort of territory here to play around with the 1st SSB. With the 1st SSB, you need to rely on your tank busters quite a lot, the commando tank busters, and that relies on having terrain where you can ambush. And here you're okay because you've got quite a lot of nice hedgerows that can block the line of sight, and if you have, for example, say here, you've got a commando tank buster just sitting just behind it. Yes, you can be attacked from the right side, but that's assuming they have recon that can spot you. But if anything comes down here, you just pop it with a commando tank buster. And the other thing is, on the other side of things, I feel like if you go with the Sherman 2 Centaur, you can definitely engage at longer distance as well, because you can have the Centaur take out the AT guns and then the Sherman take out the enemy tanks and push through, especially against like weaker tank divisions. For example, the 17th SS Panzer Grenadier, I guess they're not as weak as they used to be, but like early on if you take out the Stug, for example, then they do become quite a weak Phase A for tanks. The other one that they might be able to exploit is the 16th Luftwaffe, but that really again depends on the Flak 88, and I guess you could put the Centaur on it. As for the 6th Airborne, they're going to have to play defensively in this town in order to defend that. My idea was just to have recon on my flanks with a couple of AT guns either side of the town, a couple of units of rifles and command infantry pushing forwards with the AVRE and a Humber AA in the mid. Then on the left side, it looks like we're just going to be seeing a mix of standard stuff at the beginning here for the 3rd Canadian, couple AT guns, a few AT guns actually, covered by recon and command units, so pretty standard stuff. Yeah, not really much to talk about in terms of my strategy. I just wanted to see how far up I could get, and I was wondering who I would end up playing against. Let me just speed it up and get the game underway. There we go, we are off. And the AVRE menacingly rolls forwards. And what I like about the AVRE, it is quite slow, which is bad, but it's quite funny because it has a lot of firepower, and as soon as it rolls up, and it rolls up very slowly, you see it coming in the distance, and you're like, oh god, it's an AVRE, and then like, boom, like one of your infantry squads just disappears. And it's the most satisfying feeling being a 15th Infantry Scots player, but like on the other side of it, it's just devastating. It's like, goddamn, like one infantry squad just gone. And if you catch an infantry squad out in the open, that's very, very easy to do. So as you can see, I'm getting quite far up here. I push as far as I can. I check who I'm up against briefly there, and I can see that I'm against Teuton TV, which allows me to identify that I'm up against Panzer, which may help me understand why he didn't push so hard. Like, I managed to push well over the 50-50 on my side of things, and I got all of my rifles into positions that I wanted them in. Rifle leader's in a nice position as well, because it doesn't have line of sight down the road, it can't be shot at from down the road, but if anything comes driving down here, we get the Piat on target, which is good. Humber AA is in a decent position, AVRE is just hanging back for now, but that's going to be fast moving up to support the rifles as I make for another push. Now, since everything ended up a bit further up, I had to like micromanage all of my other troops, and you can see that I'm like rolling them all forwards now. Dropped off the 6-pounders and found they were a little too far back, so off I go, charging forwards, and on our right flank, Kagari has left the game and been defeated. Now, I'm not entirely sure what happened. It looked like he just dropped, mainly because none of his stuff, I think, had died. So it was a bit of a random drop anyway. But one player down on our side of things. Either way, AVRE has arrived. Blows up a 251-1, and Panzerwerfer comes in, starts smashing to pieces my rifles. Really nicely placed Panzerwerfer strike, actually. Like, one of these half-tracks, fast moving down here, probably could have made some of this stuff surrender. I've only got the Humber AA, actually, to stop that from happening. I do have the 6-pounder here as well, but by the time that gets into position, that stuff would have surrendered. Should he have like actually sent one of these half tracks down the road? So I found that quite interesting. Definitely a very good chance there of catching out some of my units, but make my rifles instantly fall back just because I don't want them to burn to death in the flames there. And I'm just going to let everything else fall as far back as I like. I've got the 6-pounder coming out. That's going to get a line of sight onto these half tracks. One of them goes down, the second one tries to move to the right, but that gets bailed out as well. The 6-pounder's done a great job so far. AVRE, I think, only did one kill so far, which was the half-track there, but Speed Troop, they're going to reveal themselves. I originally fire positioned there because I knew that they were there, but goodbye to the Speed Troop as an AVRE shells right in the middle of their squad. You would not want to be there to clean up the parts, would you? My lord. So since we are going to be fighting against quite a lot of half-tracks, with it being Panzer, I do bring up a Honey to help me out. I also know that since they're Panzer, I can put the pressure on quite hard if I manage to take care of their infantry. So they pushed up with, obviously, their half-tracks to here, which made me feel like they unloaded their Panzergrens a little bit further back. I do find their Panzergrenführer quite far up, so I blow them up as well. And the rifles continue charging forwards. But on this right side, as you can see, the AI is going absolutely ham. And this was the first of many amusements of this game. The AI is just having an absolutely fun time driving around all over the place with these vehicles. I believe the Centaur did get ambushed by a Panzergren team, but on this right side, yes, the line's falling apart, but it was just funny that Gagari, the AI that took over, just went crazy and just like fast moved through the enemy lines. It's actually put us at the +2, 58% really early on. Also, Thiel's doing a fantastic job on the left side. I don't think the 16th Luftwaffe player had enough 88s to hold him back. So Thiel's just moving up here quite easily with his infantry and making quite a lot of ground. I'm also going straight through the mid here, no problemo. I'm currently waiting for some more infantry to arrive, as you can see. Rifles and a new command unit coming up to assist in the next breakthrough. This choke point's kind of difficult to attack. I need to make sure there's no Panzergrens like nearby. Now, no idea why Tuden brought his Panzerwerfer over here, maybe an accident, but that goes straight in front of my Honey and gets absolutely annihilated. I'm just bringing up a Tripolston, and that gets unloaded just as an ME-109 comes in, which was quite convenient. Going to be forcing that ME-109 away. And as you can see, going as deep as I can with these rifles, AVRE blows the crap out of the Panzergrenadier squad. And there is a couple of AT guns waiting for me, but they're not quite in the right position just yet. So I'm able to use my AVRE to actually take on the 258 while my rifle squads get rid of these packs. I also managed to get the rifles into the church there as well, which helps out a lot. And there you go. 258 goes down, actually pins the Panzer Grenadiers and the Pak 38 at the same time. This allows me to move up the AVRE and take out the Panzer Grens, get the 330 cows on target, and that Panzer Gren isn't lasting very long. I have an MG squad coming up for the church, so I move the rifles out there. I'm going to move the HMG in its place. AVRE gets line of sight onto the Pak 38, and I'm not too worried about that penetrating because I have 15 armor versus 10 AP. And even if that was, what, 500 meters, the chance of penetration was very low there. He could have penetrated, and he did hit, but it would have been about a 13% chance, so not very high at all. It's very hard for these Pak 38s to hold you back early on, and the Panzer doesn't get any veterancy on them really either, so that kind of sucks. MG42 going to go down there as well to the AVRE, and currently the AVRE has done all the work. Rifles moving forwards, of course, taking the fire of the Panzer Grens. The AVRE comes in and finishes them off with the help of the Honey. So AT guns are continuing to move forwards as well. It's important to make sure that you do kind of bring up your defensive units with you as you are breaking through, just so that if they bring any like tanks to sort of counter this, then you're in a position to force them back. And we're still in phase A, so there's not too much that the Panzer can do at this point, except from, I don't know, maybe bring in like a Pak 38 that he might not have used, or another Panzer Grenadier squad or something like that, that can maybe ambush. But in general, I'm just piling on through at the moment. The rifles revealing any infantry, the AVRE and Honey then able to take them out. And yeah, on this right side, things not going well for the AI now. All of the stuff that sort of broke through has been killed, and on this right side, Boy to Firefly, Boy to Cromwell combo going really hard to try and push through the AI. Another ME-109 comes in, probably the same one from before, going to be forced to fall back by the Tripolston. Not really much damage done. On this left side, they're still making a lot of ground. I'm putting a lot of pressure on at this town as well, and I've got even more rifles on the way to assist. Now, as you can see on my right flank, I've got these like MG carriers and command carriers. They're pushed up to like the edge of these tree lines to provide sort of frontline presence, to keep the front line from collapsing in on me on that right side. So that's all there. Therefore, I've also got the Recce squad, which allows me to spot any units coming down roads towards me and trying to cut me off. So that's useful. I do have a rifle leader here that hung back. Yeah, the wine cellars are not safe today, unfortunately. One of my command units being left behind. But yeah, moving forwards anyway with more rifle squads up here. 6-pounders joining the front line now. Have managed to wheel themselves all the way up. Pak 38 dead again. But now I've got to deal with a Flak 88, and that's going to be hammering the front of my AVRE. What I'm trying to do is wiggle my AVRE over to the left side to try and get him out of line of sight of the 88, and I was trying to micro it so that he was like looking towards him and then away from him and so on. But the 88, I think, managed to catch a side armor hit there and take it out. So AVRE goes down, but did a lot of work breaking through for us, and that's what counts. So ME-109 comes over once again, just going for strafing runs, I think. But I do have more AA on the way, Humber AAs as well as the Tripolstons. And here goes the engagement with the Panzer once again. We've also got 17th SS Panzer Grenadiers over here as well, trying to hold back the tide of the Scots. But the Scots are mighty, and we are pushing forwards very, very efficiently at the moment. But in moving into phase B anyway, the Panzer player has a lot more opportunity to bring in stuff that could actually make a difference here and kind of push me back. But as you can see with these two Bedford trucks, I've got unload at position commands at their air spawn and at their land air spawn on the right side here. So just trying to make as much ground as I can. I know that I'm in quite a temperamental position here, I don't really have any like 17 pounders up yet. So this is the time that they could really like put on the pressure and break back and take back a lot of ground, especially like killing off a lot of these rifles. I guess the only issue here is that the rifles are very resilient. You know, if I keep them in hard cover, like these trees, then it's going to be hard for them to like dislodge without being at risk of maybe bumping into a rifle leader or getting ambushed by an AT gun. That's the only thing they have to be worried of. So what you want to do in this position as like the Panzer Lehr, other than surrender, is bring in recon and check out these tree lines, push as hard as you can with like things like Panthers and Stugs or whatever. So we are seeing sort of a combination of troops coming at me now. There is the 16th Luftwaffe bringing in a Stür 42. We have Teuton bringing in a Panzer IV-H and a Panther. And he's got a couple more infantry squads there. So again, just trying to get my AT guns ready in position to make those ambushes happen that I was talking about. And my rifles are just about arriving at their positions now. So 61%. Fortunately for Heiko, he's not having much of a fun time. He's having to play very defensively at that town, but still holding the 50-50, so that's nice. But now we see the 12th SS player coming in from our flank and trying to deal with some of Heiko's units. The AI has just sort of set up quite far back, but we've got all the way to their spawn, so that's not too much of an issue. Still 61% in favour of us. And still counting a +2. Good stuff. We only have 2,000 points to actually count up to. I didn't set up the game. I just joined a random one. So not actually too many points to work up to. And the Humber AAs and the Tripolstons almost shoot down the ME-109 there as it flies overhead. I do have a Churchill 5 on the way. And as you can see, there is quite a lot of stuff coming at me. But I can see it all. You know, these rifles are in the edge of these trees, which is giving me quite a lot of information. Just got to be a bit careful of the Panzer Grenadiers annihilating my rifles. And obviously supported by the Panzer IV and the Panther could do quite a lot of work. I do have the 6-pounder nicely in position to maybe take out the Panzer IV. So that's what I'm kind of looking for there. But if the Panzer Grenadiers get in here and kill the 6-pounder, then that's not going to happen. And the 6-pounder reveals itself by shooting at a half-track, which is a mistake on my part, really. Should have had it on return fire. Because now all that's going to happen is exactly what I said. The Panzer Grenadiers are going to mow down that 6-pounder very easily. I'm getting this 6-pounder on target to the left side here. I'm going to be able to slam one of the cheaper tanks coming up the road there. The 16th Luftwaffe player actually relying on those terrible old French tanks. But here we go, 17-pounder. Going to be getting the shot off onto the Panzer IV. Now I'm in phase B. I do have 2 Star 17-pounders available, and it's going to be more than enough to take out a Panzer IV, that's for sure. Now there is some AA that I got to worry about. Just a Vespa at the back here, I think. Did find one of my 6-pounders, which could definitely put a threat onto his Panther, which is just sitting on the other side of this tree line. Very risky place to have a Panther there. And this Humber AA, I think I had it on a fast move to like try and make some of his infantry surrender, but it took a little while to actually get going, and therefore just walked into the Panther and died. But yeah, either way, Wolf 190s coming in with their rocket strikes. That's the 16th Luftwaffe player again. Goes for the Churchill 5, which I thought was an odd choice. If he had spotted some of my other units, then he might have probably targeted the 6-pounder or the 17-pounders. That would have been much more ideal, but either way, going to be hitting those pretty hard with my AA. The 2-inch carrier here. I was trying to use the machine gun to support the rifles and attacking the Panzergrens, but I kind of lost track of that 2-inch carrier, and I get a little bit too close. And it is going to end up going down to the Panzergrenadiers there. But 6-pounder here holding the corridor open to the beaches. Panzergren comes out of cover, pops the 2-inch carrier. Those 2-inch carriers, I mean, they're not actually that great. I didn't use them too much out of this game, just because I found myself at like not even a decent range for most of the time, which was really annoying. But there, 6-pounder, gonna moving into the tree line, gets killed by the Panther D machine gun. Only had 1 health left, so not a surprise there. 17-pounder though, I'm going to try and do the same thing here. This 17-pounder just took out the Stuhr 42, so that's helpful. And the Jagdpanzer is also moving into range, so that's nice. But yeah, what I want to do, get 17-pounder into position where it can shoot the Panther D in the back. And what happens at this point? You think it would be one of the opponents surrendering, but nope, it's actually one of our teammates. The 6th Airborne player, I think he was just severely struggling against Price and Aqua on this right side. They were doing a fantastic job of like attacking the right side of the map, but I was just absolutely punishing the crap out of Teuton and his 16th Luftwaffe teammate. So yeah, they're not managing to get very far, and since we're already sort of camping the spawn here as well, with Thiel and his Ram 2 and his Piat squad just sitting there waiting for stuff to come in, he's not having a good time. And the 17-pounder manages to move forwards, take out the Panther as well, and with that, I think Teuton had had enough, and that he also surrenders. So yeah, both of our right side teammates just surrendered in this one. I think first SSB player, Kagari, probably just disconnected. Whereas Heiko, I think he was just losing and surrendered, which to me is odd because he was actually going to win the game overall. I mean, if he just stuck with it for another 200 points, then he could have won with the team. And he did a decent job there of like holding back 2 players on the 50-50 for a very long time. And thankfully to us two on the left side, myself and Theo, we managed to crush through and get all the way up to these spawns here. Now, since the AI has taken over, they are probably going to be desperate to try and get back the spawns, because that's something that the AI tends to focus on rather early on. But either way, it didn't particularly matter at this point. I'm going for a few little air engagements over here. My Spitfire getting out alive, just about, as I bring it into fight with 2 Focke-Wulf 190s. I also buy in another one to try and get a cheeky shot into the back of the Focke-Wulf 190. Theo actually brings in a Tripolston over here, which was a really, really nice play, because he knows that the land spawn's there, and these Focke-Wulf 190s are just flying over our spawn. So you can just bring in the Tripolston, like insta stun these Focke-Wulfs and manage to shoot them down. I lose track of my Spitfire here because I'm busy focusing on what the AI is doing on the left side. But as you can see, Spitfire just kind of hangs about for a little bit too long. Flak 36 is slowly hitting it as well, and the ME-109 is just going to come in there and finish him off, unfortunately. The doom of the Spitfire. Poor chap. But yeah, just as that happens, the game ends, and after 19 minutes and 21 seconds, that is victory. So punching through there very, very hard with the Scots division. It was a lot of fun, honestly. I love games like that where your strategy works so well from the offset, and honestly, I kind of like landed on my feet there with being up against a Panzer player as well, because there's just nothing they can do about that. And they don't have the AT that's strong enough to kill an AVRE. They would have to rely on basically ambushing the AVRE with like a Panzerfaust or like a Panzerschreck, but you wouldn't bring a Panzerschreck in a Panzer squad or deck. I guess you could maybe try and get close to it with a Puma, but yeah, it's just like AT ambush or Panzer Grenadiers, but it's very easy to like circumnavigate ambushes, especially if you just like bait them out with the rifles like I was doing. Like you move the rifles ahead, they're just sort of like a pin cushion really, and then you send in the AVRE afterwards in order to just blow the crap out of whatever's there. And even at like that 500 meter range, that AT, the Pak 38 with the 10 AP is just not enough to kill an AVRE, and that's what the beauty of the AVRE is. So yeah, absolutely fantastic and worked out very well in this game. But yeah, the amusing part was we had 2 people surrender on our team, and we still managed to pull through. I'm not entirely sure again why Heiko surrendered. He wasn't doing very well in terms of his kills and losses, but still would have won the game had he not surrendered. So there you have it. That is the game right there. I think it's Theo I92. I kept calling him Theo, but yeah, Theo, really good job by Theo, especially like bringing in that command Tripolston or CMP Tripolston at the spawn. It's just a really nice little play there to make sure that we win the fight against the Fokker Wolves. Even if we don't necessarily shoot them down, it just gets rid of them, and it's just quite nice. And yeah, Kagari and the AI taking over. The AI doesn't really deal with the first SSB very well, and Aqua picking up plenty of kills because of that. Didn't manage to push through to the spawn though, however, as the AI does love to absolutely suicide in order to not lose ground, which I guess was the only reason that we didn't manage to, or they didn't manage to get to the spawn, because if it was a player, it's much easier to like take advantage and get, like, for example, my rifle squads to the other side of the map, because the AI would naturally not let you do that, but a player might not be concentrating on that area. So the AVRE coming up trumps with plenty of kills there. Panzergrenadier, Panzer Grenadiers, Spear Troop, Pack 38s. We got the 6-pounder picking up a few kills. Honey took out the Panzerwerfer, that was pretty important actually. And this 17-pounder at the end, of course, getting its fair share. Same with the 17-pounder as well. Both of them paying themselves off very quickly indeed. So that's your lot for today, guys. I know it was a short one, and it was, I guess you could call it a little bit of a stomp, but at the same time, I didn't get the best KD. Aqua did that on the other side with his 12th SS Panzer. Fantastic play by him. Unfortunately, his teammates letting him down. But just very fun and interesting game. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.